Everybody. Singers will come in, they'll get their packets of music. Welcome back. Extend the hands of friendship and massage, and we'll sing ha 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 ha.
For nearly 32 years, the Hands of Friendship have welcomed hundreds of men to sing with the Heartland Men's Chorus.
We sing for something greater than ourselves.
Artistic director Dustin Cates leads this group of singers every Tuesday at practice at Grace and Holy Trinity Cathedral.
I'll stay right in the groove.
Put it all together.
Chorus member Rob Hill has waited 10 years for this night.
This will be the first time actually hearing voices associated with the notes. So that's very cool.
But tonight we're going to read through the entire concert.
Because this really means it's real.
The retired Army officer has co-written a set of lyrics. His friends in this men's chorus are about to sing for the first time. A story put to music called We the Unknown. It's a story about the selection of America's unknown soldier in the tomb from World War I at Arlington National Cemetery.
The message of this piece is that there is an infinite possibility of who could be the unknown soldier.
When Hill first heard how the soldier was selected, he started wondering if the unknown or any other unknowns could have been like him.
When I first heard someone tell this story aloud, I thought, well, what if the one who was selected was gay?
Hill is gay. He served in uniform for 20 years, not able to talk openly about his authentic self. But in addition, his three-generation military background, his grandfather's service in World War I, and the tours he gives at the National World War I Museum in Kansas City all influenced him, in part, to start thinking about the unknown soldier in a lot of different ways.
I just like the idea that we don't necessarily have to have a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white guy. It could be, you know, someone of color.
He thought, what if that unknown was one of roughly 400,000 black soldiers in World War I?
The sad thing is, for all their bravery, they come back to a country in which there is inequality.
What if, he thought, we could see the soldier through the eyes of a mother who lost her son to a bullet in battle, then displayed a gold star as a symbol to others of her sacrifice? What if that unknown got his head shaved just after the draft, but inside was so afraid of what he had been signed up for?
I think that's the power, too, of this story, is that we imagine 4 lives, and there are infinitely more lives that could be imagined.
If I want to create something that doesn't exist, I can.
But Hill still needed another writer's touch. So he asked author Pat Daneman to put her thoughts on paper too.
I am so excited about hearing a lot of people sing my words. That is a new experience for me. Obviously, the character that was easiest for me to identify with was the mother.
As the mom of a son, she felt drawn to the unknown son, lost to the poppy fields of France, whose mother never got a cross with a name to bury him at home.
She starts, before he was a soldier, he was my son, a boy before he was a man. You wish to know him? Let me say he hated lima beans and loved vanilla ice cream.
She wrote, too, about that possible unknown black soldier who may have built the railroads or unloaded ships, but also may have fought on the front lines with his brothers from the Buffalo Soldiers.
So the black soldier says, they try to pretend that we're not here. Just like back home, they keep us out of sight and give us the dirty work. But I'm a damn good soldier and I've come to fight. You think of the unknown soldier as representing all soldiers, but this takes it a step further and it says, not only are they unknown, they're known.
Known, because a choir in Kansas City will give them a voice. This first rehearsal, a little hint of what's to come.
I can't wait until it's like full up.
As we reveal much more about the unknown soldier from World War I.